Vámonos.
Good afternoon. It's Wednesday, November the 8th, 5:32 p.m. This meeting is now in session. Everybody, please rise. Vicki, would you lead us in prayer, please?
Heavenly Father, we gather before you today and ask that you bless all those present. We ask you to bless our board, and we thank you for the importance of the decisions that will be made this evening. We pray for peace in the world and for peace among us. In your holy name we pray. Amen.
Commissioner Masso, would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, sir?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay.
I'm checking to see if anybody signed up. Okay, item number 2, public audience. No one has signed up to speak. Item number 3, approved minutes of regular board meeting of October 18th, 2006, and minutes of special meeting of October 25th, 2006.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion on the table to approve the minutes by Commissioner De Los Santos, seconded by Commissioner Cristiano. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item number 4, interim director's report. I have just a few things to report today. One, we have been working very diligently with the Corps of Engineers. As you all know, we have a shoaling issue in the channel again. I think I went over it with you on the last board meeting. We are restricted to 38 feet of draft, and so myself, Hector, and Ray Ramirez have been working very closely with the Corps. We think that we've gotten some of the issues resolved, but we did have 2 ships that were affected by the draft. One of them was a vessel that's coming in for a company, MI Swatco, and it's about 54,000 tons of barite. They are actually coming in at 1 foot over the draft restriction at 39 feet, but they have, we had a meeting on Monday, I think, with them, and as they're coming through the Panama Canal, they're not going to take on a bunker, and they're going to try to release some of their ballast, so they think that all indications are that we're going to be okay on that one. The next vessel is an APM slab ship, and it's got 40,000 tons. That was only 3 inches over, and so they're making some modifications with their ballast, so we hope that everything is going to be okay on those 2. But we have met with both of those companies, and we're working through those issues. We do have a trip planned to go to Washington next week, and we will be discussing the dredging issues with the Corps and with some of the representatives up there that are on those panels. So we're diligently working on that. The cargo stats for the month of August, we just have those out, and we're doing very well. We're showing an increase over last year of about 250,000 tons, so we're doing well, and we're on target with our cargo stats. I've passed out the director's reports, and you have them there. On Tony's report, he's reporting some possibilities of some new tonnage that's coming in from some meetings that he's attended. We've actually got some export business. Most of our stuff comes import and it goes to Mexico, so now it's going the other way around. So we met with a couple of different groups that have they're having some problems with congestions in the Mexican ports, and they're diverting some of those ships to us. And then there's also some cost increase in some of the West Coast ports, and so we may be getting some of that business from Europe. So Tony's working on those items. In Herman's report, he had several companies with some real estate interest here that are very substantial, and he's working closely with them, and hopefully some of that will come to pass. I think one of them is a real possibility. The other is a windmill. And he's working with the local stevedores to try to bring in components for some of those windmills. And so those are 2 that he's working on. Plus he's working on, next week, we're getting a much needed new phone system. Our phone system that we have here is very antiquated, and we're having problems with it, and they were just kind of irreparable problems that we can't fix. And so that's coming in next week, and we should be up and going and have a state-of-the-art system. We're also continuing to work on the master plan. I've also given you a copy of the technical proposal that came in. Hector and myself met with the company, I guess, a couple of weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, with regard to an overview of how we'd like this thing to go forward. They have come back with the draft of that. We have reviewed it and got just a few tweaks to make. And upon approval, then we're going to let them come back and give us the dollar amount proposal. And at that time, they will be coming to the board to give that proposal. But if any of you have any questions, or if you see some items that we've missed or something that you'd like to add, please just let us know, and then we can get it in time for them to give us a dollar proposal on that. Also, Debbie and Tony and B and Ray Ramirez met this morning, the final meeting of the Tariff Committee meeting, and that workshop went very well with the users. They have gotten everything completed. And as soon as all the amendments and revisions are made, Debbie will have that hopefully by the next meeting to have a workshop with the board.
I won't be here the next meeting, but maybe
The following meeting, okay. So a good note that the committee worked very hard, and I'd like to commend Debbie and Tony and B and everybody really that worked on that committee. Both meetings with the users and the tenants went very well. I mean, they were very happy with some of the changes, not so happy with the other changes, but we worked through them, and I think everybody came out a winner on this, and so that'll be ready for your review. And I also just passed out a tentative travel schedule for the Washington meeting. This is tentative. If there's anything that needs to be added, or if anybody has any special things that they'd like to do, please add that. It is tentative, and that's all I have to report.
Ms. Seymour, on the master plan, when do you have to submit that back to the folks with the tweaks?
We'd like to do it as soon as possible because they would like to get started as quickly as possible. One of the components of the master plan was taking a look at our security, and we have a grant. The next round of the grants will be coming up on December 14th. That's when the government will come out with the new grants, and so we'd like to get that back and get a cost estimate so that they can help us with our grant request, and that's December 14th. So as soon as we can, it'd be good. I mean, if we get any feedback back, then they could actually present that the first meeting of December.
Suffice it to say then is the commissioners, we can give them, 24, 48 hours to look at it and give any recommendations?
Sure, that'd be
If
fine.
they wish to do anything, wants to review that?
That'd be fine.
Is that fine with you, gentlemen? 24, 48 hours?
Okay,
Okay,
that's good.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
Item number 5, consider an act on rescheduling the regular board meeting of November 15th, 2006 to November 29th, 2006. This is to accommodate our DC trip.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion on the table by Commissioner De Los Santos, seconded by Commissioner Cristiano. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item number 6, consider an act on rescheduling regular board meeting of January 3rd to January 10th, 2007. This is just to accommodate for the holidays.
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Motion on the table by Commissioner De Los Santos, seconded by Commissioner Cristiano. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item number 7, consider an act to authorize Director of Engineering Services to pardon me. Excuse me, Hector wanted to skip to item number 8. These are kind of out of order, so. Item number 8, consideration to enter into an advance funding agreement with the Texas Department of Transportation for the construction of internal roads at the Port of Brownsville. Possible action.
Chairman, Commissioners, Ms. Seymour, Mr. Renfro, good afternoon. The item before you, it's an advance funding agreement with the Texas Department of Transportation to utilize some safety loop federal funds, a grant available for construction and rehabilitation of our internal roads. If I may refer to page 22, there's a little schematic that shows the different roads that have been incorporated into our plan. Basically, it's all the roads except for a section of Milo Road between Faust and Southport Road. This safety loop money, it's a $2.5 million grant with an 80-20% matching. So basically, out of those $2.5 million, there's a grant for $2 million, and $500,000 would be our matching contribution. In addition, we were able to tack on some other unexpended, what they call Q920 monies that were left over from the rail relocation. That is the $1,067,000 figure that you see there. And if you can refer to page 26 on the attachment C, basically has a breakdown of the funding allocations. Now, the total estimated project cost is $3.8 million. So basically, we will be utilizing about $3 million in grants and up to $800,000 in matching contributions from the port. Now, we can probably tailor the project so that we don't have to exceed beyond the 3.5, so that we don't have to spend 100% monies from the port. But that's to be decided as once we delineate what improvements will be necessary in some of the roads. I envision some of our roads being completely reconstructed. Some other ones we may just need some overlays. And so it will depend on which particular section of the roads we're working on, what the cost, what will be driving the cost. And it's for your consideration.
Hector, I don't see how we can afford to do this, the railroad work that we're doing, and proceed with Dock 16. I see Dock 16 and I see the railroad as capital improvements, but I don't see this as a capital improvement. I don't see this helping us make money.
We can't move traffic if our roads are destroyed,
Torn up.
and they are right now. I mean, this $2 million, or really, it's
Is it more important than Dock 16?
How are we gonna get
You
to Dock
can't
16
get to Dock
without
16 if
roads?
the roads are,
This is having a champagne taste on a beer budget. I mean, where are we getting this money from?
from the state.
The state?
It's
It's not all free.
20%.
We're going to be responsible for matching these funds up to $500,000.
Correct.
Where are we going to get that money from? Is that new money?
we have money budgeted for that. Debbie?
We have money earmarked.
Yeah.
Earmarked specifically in our budget for this?
Because we knew that this money was coming down the pike for a year and a half. So we've had this
Will
money.
we have to amend the budget to make this match?
Capital expenditure.
Excuse me?
It's a capital expenditure.
So we would need to amend the budget?
No.
We would not need
Not
to?
part of the application.
Where is this money coming from? Where are we generating the income to produce this money?
From our revenue. That's where money is.
So we set this money aside specifically for this
It's in our-
project?
Every year when we do our budgets, we list capital projects. And that money is,
Earmarked and set aside for that?
it's not set aside, but it's in the budget for the we do a listing of capital projects and we prioritize those capital projects. And Debbie mentally sets aside the money. I mean, we don't physically open an account and say that money's there, but we budget for those projects. Just like we did the master plan and renovations to the water tanks, to the water lines.
So aside from the monies that are being set aside and earmarked for these special projects, we also have the monies that are being set aside for Dock 16, right?
We do.
We have that in a
Dock 16
separate,
actually has
as an
a
account.
separate
account, yes,
section.
exactly.
On top of the money for Dock 16, we have about $4.5 million that are operating reserves. They're surplus operating to us, and those funds are available for this type of project. They're in excess of what we need.
I personally just feel that 80%, if they're gonna be able to pay 80% of it, and we're only gonna put 20% of it, I think roads are always a need, infrastructure's always a need. I don't wanna get caught behind the 8 ball, and, I agree in the sense that I wish we had all the money in the world, and we hit oil, and we don't have to worry about where the money comes from.
What does that 20% equal?
20% would equal, as of right here, I'm looking at 500,000.
No, it says up to almost $800,000.
Estimated cost.
That's if we do everything.
That's if they do everything, but they're willing to match. We have to right now approve whether we want to go into an agreement with the state so that they can fund 80%, up to $2.5 million. And that's what we're right now trying to agree on. Is that correct? Now, how far we go into the project, that's not what we're going to right now, right? Okay.
And also, Mr. Zavaleta,
Yes, sir.
every year on our capital project list, I have included monies for, I have requested monies for doing several of our roads. Anchor Road,
Right.
Old Oak Road, and doing some other projects. And that number has been around the $300,000 figure. Monies which we have not implemented because of our, perhaps our constraints.
It's not a
and
question,
our
it's not a
priorities.
question of whether our roads need improvement. It's a question of whether this is a priority over Dock 16. And I view Dock 16 and, to a lesser extent, the railroad work that we're doing right now as capital improvements. I don't view this as much as a capital improvement. It may be to a lesser degree, but to be willing to commit to up to $800,000 at the expense of proceeding forward with Dock 16 and other, I just don't think we can support that.
So you would rather leave $2 million on the table and not do the roads?
Well, I mean, I don't look at it, Commissioner, as how much the state is contributing. I look at it to the extent of what are we obligating ourselves to do.
We do it ourselves, it's gonna cost a lot more money, we're not even gonna be able to do it at all.
Well-
And we wait further down the road.
Is the state willing to come back another time and do this?
No guarantees.
I'm not willing to do
I
that.
understand that the $2 million which comes from federal funding were the efforts of
Randy.
you all and our lobbyists.
That's right.
Yeah.
Whether that opportunity will be there in the future, that I cannot guarantee.
What is the deadline for this, Hector? What is the deadline for this, for action?
As far as
Can we
a
table this?
response back, well, this is something that Mr. Gutierrez and myself have been working for the last year and a half, waiting for the completion of the rail relocation project so that we can
Right.
attack this project. And so
But my
there's no
question-
real deadline as far as like, can we wait another year before we can respond to the funding, sir? I need to go back to the meter order and figure out for what fiscal year these monies were allocated.
I'd like to think about it. It's been a while since we adopted our budget. We adopted our budget in March. I'd like to think about it and would recommend that we table this so that we can look at the big picture in the context of the other projects that we're currently
I don't think this
constructing.
competes with the other projects. If the money's there for each project, why would it be competing with the other projects?
I think it does.
And I think if we're gonna get more showers, our roads are gonna get that much worse.
Remember, it takes a lot more money to totally rehabilitate them than to actually fix them before they get...
What's the harm in waiting a couple of weeks, Commissioner?
The money's already there, why delay
Are
it?
you in a rush? What's the harm?
It's before us, why are we putting it off?
Because I would like some time to think about this, to see how it's going to affect other projects,
You could go take a look at the roads. Go
to see
in
how
there
it's
and
going to
see.
affect our other projects.
David's telling you it's not gonna affect our other projects, the money's there for the other
You're
projects.
in a rush to spend this money right now.
What are you afraid of?
I'm afraid of committing ourselves to $800,000 at the expense of other demonstrable capital improvement
She's telling you
projects.
that it's not.
We got $3,800,000 that the state is flagging to us, and they're telling us
It's
either.
not going anywhere, Mr. Chairman. It's not going
You
anywhere.
don't know that.
It's better to measure twice and cut once.
Mr. Lopez, could you give us a description or analysis for those folks that are not familiar with the road infrastructure? What would happen if we were not to approve this? What happens in the worst-case scenario with our road system?
Well, I can tell you that some of our roads are in dire need of rehabilitation. Some of them are not such a bad shape, but there are some traffic concerns that I have. I would like to see our roads a little bit wider, perhaps with some shoulder to be able to move traffic, especially our truck traffic, a lot more safer. Honestly, since I've been here the last 3 years, we have not spent any monies on real road rehabilitation except for patching and that type of nature, repair jobs.
Final question, I'm sorry, just one question. When was the last time the state offered something like this to the BND with monies for us to repair the roads?
Not
Been
since
done?
I've been here.
I've been here 7 years and they never have. This is the first time in 7 years that we've gotten money under this program.
So it's an opportunity for the district to take advantage of and take $3,800,000 as opposed to $500 that we would pay that has been earmarked.
I see it as a gift, as a benefit of the state, and I'm just gonna make a motion to go ahead and approve this.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion on the table for Commissioner, to approve item number 8, Commissioner Cristiano, and seconded by Commissioner De Los Santos. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Okay. Motion carries.
Item number 7, consider an act to authorize Director of Engineering Services to advertise for statement of qualifications from qualified professional engineering firms to provide services in connection with the Port Roads construction project.
This item, again, is to request assistance from a professional engineering firm to help us put together all the engineering, the environmental impact statements, follow all the federal protocols, NEPA compliance for this particular project that was just previously approved. All the monies to be paid to the engineering firm would be from the grant/matching funds allocated for the project.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion on the table by Commissioner Cristiano, seconded by Commissioner De Los Santos. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Item number 9, consider an act on agreement with ProMile Software Development Corporation to develop and host the overweight permit online.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, before the last board meeting, a workshop was given by Tim Pilcher of ProMile Software Company to explain how the online overweight permit will interface with the trucking companies, the scale owners, and the permit office. ProMile software has been approved by TxDOT, and we are working closely with them to make sure that all the conditions are met. Fees from the permit will come out of the administration fees that the port currently gets from TxDOT. ProMiles will charge the port a fee of $2 per permit. There will be no additional fees charged to the port for the use and ongoing support for the system. ProMiles will collect all monies from the companies for all permits and will remit all fees due to the port and TxDOT on a weekly basis or on a time frame designated by TxDOT. The agreement with ProMile Software to develop and implement the online overweight permitting process is ready for your consideration and approval.
Just had a quick question, Ms. Stephen. On the administrative costs that we presently receive from TxDOT, it said 50% of the $30, we actually get $4.50. These $4.50 are the monies that are going to be used to pay for the software program?
$2,
Okay.
yes, $2 out of that $4.50 will be used for the
$2.
permit.
Okay.
Ms. Saban, at that meeting that we had, the little workshop that we had, a lot of the truck drivers raised a lot of concerns about the program and how it affects them. Are we gonna be working with them to take those matters into consideration when they're developing the software? Because they did raise some concerns about the software, and I wanna make sure that those concerns are addressed.
We will do everything in our power to make sure that they are up to date with what's going on and how it will affect them. There are going to be some companies that are never going to be happy with this. They were never happy with the permit to begin with. But they still will have the opportunity to come to the port. We will do their permit online for them, and they'll pay their cash, their $30, just like they used to in the past. So for those companies, it really isn't going to make much difference.
So it's an option.
Well, it's not an option that they can go buy a blank permit anymore. But the option is, if they don't have internet access, they can come to the port and we will do it for them.
I was at that meeting also, and their concerns were various concerns, and I know that they're trying to do the best that they can with what they have. And my biggest question is, if we approve this today, when would this take place?
He said, once it took place, it would take about 60 days for him to write the program.
Okay.
So probably the end of January we're looking at.
Let me tell you what I really want to do. And this goes a little bit different than what I usually do things. I would like us to first get the truck drivers' concerns of why this is not working out for them, why they feel that this is not good for them. I want us to develop, I think we talked about it at the meeting. I don't think we've done anything about that. I want to go talk to the companies. I want the port to actually start filling out their concerns, their problems, and I want them to write their names, their companies, their names, and then I want that to be sent to the state. And that way we can, yeah, go ahead.
Because it's something, I think some of the concerns that were addressed there were not really tied in with what we're trying to offer here, sir.
Agreed. But it's a concern to help them out. And I think we have to do everything we can as a port to help them out because we get our cargo from them. And we need to try to help them out either way. Even though I agree with you, this has nothing to do with the concerns that we had that meeting. I'm with you. And so I'm gonna go ahead and I'll make a motion to go ahead and go with this. But at the next meeting, I really want to have that already in place so we can send that to the state. Okay? Please.
Well, is there a deadline by when we need to have this program? Did TxDOT set a deadline for us?
TxDOT gave us 30 days, about 60 days ago. But they realize that this is just not something we can snap our fingers and it's going to be overnight. So, and I've talked to TxDOT a couple times this week, in fact, and they're voicing some of their, issues and how we're going to do it. But as long as we're working on it, they're not going to say, you've got to have it by January 1st. They're not going to do that to us.
And that's what I was going to say. And TxDOT was in earlier. They had meetings with the trucking companies and the truck drivers. And TxDOT, they were in those meetings,
Yes.
correct?
Yes.
Okay. So I mean, they know that we're having some resistance.
Second, Mr. Chairman.
Well, I just want to make sure they also include that they have a bilingual webpage to be able to do this.
Yes, it will all, except for the permit, it all will be done in English and in Spanish.
Spanish.
Yes, sir.
And if we can set up, I guess, some additional workshops for Pro Miles to meet with the truckers so that they can address any concerns during the development of the program to help, address those concerns that they have.
Okay?
Joe, I had a question.
Yes, sir.
The agreement, it's more of a proposal than an agreement, but it's for a 3-year period.
Yes, sir.
And they get $2 per permit. At the end of the 3 years, is the system ours?
No.
Still belongs to TxDOT?
Well, it belongs to the
Belongs to Pro
Miles.
Miles.
So we would either have to get a new agreement with them.
Or at that time, if it's not working, we can just say,
Discard it.
okay, we're done.
What if it's not working the first year?
Well, I can't tell you that. I don't know what TxDOT would do. I mean, I honestly don't know what they would do.
Maybe for the next meeting, we can find out and also find out what the concerns are over the truckers. Get a list of it and provide it to us for the next meeting. We could probably maybe take action at that time.
Okay.
This meeting's,
When's our next meeting?
We won't be here. We have an election law seminar in Austin.
6 we will be.
the 6th of December.
Can we postpone this till then?
Well, and we can ask them that question about the 3 years too. I mean,
Our permit's good until 2019.
I will say one thing, the truck drivers' concerns are not with the permit process. They are with axle weights. They are with DPS fines. And those issues, we were never going to be able to take care of for them because TxDOT is not going to allow us to send them out without axle weights on their scale tickets. DPS, we just have no control over DPS. And we're going to schedule meetings with DPS to get them involved in the process. But, you know, they want them not to find them. And we just can't say, well, you've got a permit and it doesn't matter that your axle weights aren't right. You know, we just can't.
Let's see.
But that is their main concern. The big trucking companies don't have a problem with the online system. They have a problem with axle weights, with DPS, and those issues
Can that be?
will never, we've done this now since 1998, and
Yeah,
the
I mean-
same issues.
Based on what I got out of the meeting, the problem is that the way it was done before, they can get away with a little variance.
The variance.
Okay, now they're not gonna have that variance, and that is their major complaint. And that's why there's so much resistance.
And they shouldn't have had the variance to begin with.
That's
And
correct.
that's kind of where TxDOT
Well, I
is
think-
coming from, is
that-
that they go back and audit and find all these variances that shouldn't have been allowed.
That's right.
But I'll be more than happy.
Well,
She is.
they're allowed to have a variance, aren't they, by law?
Not by law, no.
Ms. Gaitan?
Yeah, can I ask a question? We buy sometimes 10 permits at a time. Are we not going to be able to do that anymore? The black permits? I was hearing that you will not be able to buy any more black permits? Is that
You,
what?
actually, you'll buy them and then download them as you need them.
As you need them.
You can
Okay.
pay for them, they'll stay there on the system for you.
Okay.
As you need them, you fill in the information.
But you won't come over to our place and get 10 blank permits any longer.
Right, okay.
If you would want one at a
Whole
time,
month
then
just
we
for
would
this
do
one
it
to
for
know
you.
what's gonna happen.
One of the reasons why is because a lot of times we ship scraps into Mexico, and we buy the permits, but a lot of times the truck will not cross, they won't let us know until about 8 o'clock at night that the truck, whether it's gonna cross or not. We have that problem right now. We have about 4 trucks loaded, but the forwarding agency does not have the authority to cross the trucks.
Yeah.
And some of the trucks are overweight. So we don't fill the permit until they actually let us know, okay, it's okay for you to cross the truck.
And you can have
Yeah,
all
you still
that
be able to
down
do that, yeah.
already, online.
And you won't have to
With
wait
except
until
for the
we're
waiting.
open for business. You can do it anytime you
You
want.
can do it,
yeah.
you can make that permit good
At
anytime.
any time. Okay, that was my concern, is whether I'm
Actually, the
gonna
permit
be.
does not activate, remember, keep in mind, until it crosses our
Crosses.
our gate.
Oh, really?
Our gate stamps it
24
and
hours.
it's 24 hours.
Okay.
And it's gonna happen the same
I
thing.
thought it was
No, no, that had
activated
nothing to do with it.
No.
when you filled it up.
No.
No, okay.
And you
good.
can change it at any time. If the,
Until it
if
gets activated, you can go back and.
Right.
the, if the tractor, gets a flat tire and you need to change it, you can go up there and change it.
I'm glad you told me that, because I've messed up a lot of them. But they were, once you filled them up.
You have a motion, gentlemen?
I would like to, I actually did say I was gonna make a motion, but I would like to really get straight, what would happen if in a year it's not working out with this company?
Within the 12-month period?
You know, if it's not working out for us, do we have an out clause, or
Okay.
are we handcuffed to being with them for 3 years?
Wanna table it?
I would like to table it.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion on, table to item number 9 to table by Commissioner Cristiano and seconded by Commissioner De Los Santos. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item number 10, receive and acknowledge report of funds released to TxDOT from the overweight permit fund in the amount of $13,570.28.
As you all know, we collect overweight permit funds, and as TxDOT needs them, they send us a bill and we release the money, and then we do report it to you as a matter of procedure. And that is the final payment that TxDOT has requested for this overlay project that has just been completed. We're just asking for an acknowledgement of the report.
I guess I second the acknowledgement.
$13,570.
Yes, sir.
Okay. We
have a
don't,
motion?
Motion to
Yeah.
acknowledge receipt of-
yeah.
Yes.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Cristiano, seconded by?
No,
The other way around.
the other way
The other
around.
way.
Either way.
I'm sorry, by Commissioner De Los Santos and seconded by Commissioner Cristiano. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item number 11, consider and take action to approve payment of the district's prorate portion of the Cameron County District budget for fiscal year 2007. The district's prorate portion is 1.11328% of the total budget, or $40,582.
By state law, the district has to participate in the budget for the Cameron Appraisal District. This is the district that actually goes out and appraises all of our properties and gives us our valuations. Prior to having the appraisal district, we had to have our own appraiser and pay them and have all the equalization hearings, and it was, this is a much better way of doing it and get more consistent valuations. As our tax rate goes down, our proportion goes down, and this year has gone down about $4,000. So our proportion this year is $40,582, and I'm asking for your authority to pay this.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion on the table by Commissioner De Los Santos, seconded by Commissioner Masso. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item number 12, consider and take action to amend Port of Brownsville's tariff number 5 to add item 401 Harbor Tug operator's license.
I'm going to ask you to table that this evening. We've done quite a bit of work on that. Yesterday, we met with Mr. Snyder and some of his staff from Signet Tug, and we did quite a bit of work on this. And we got some language changes very late this afternoon. Daniel hasn't had a chance to look at it, although he does know he wants to make some changes to it, to kind of put what we've done into a little bit better language. So we're asking you to table it. I have given you a copy of where we are today, and the provisions, I believe, are going to stand. It's just some of the language that we're going to get cleaned up and fixed.
So make a motion on the table.
Second.
Okay. We have a motion on the table to table item number 12 by Commissioner Masso, seconded by Commissioner De Los Santos. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item number 13, consider and take action to authorize the write-off of a portion of the balance due from Francisco Abrego.
Mr. Abrego purchased from us one of the buildings that we sold at auction, the old La Pesca building, and we processed a new lease for him, but he had an old lease that he was still occupying at the same time. During that time, he didn't get all of his things off the site. We were continuing to bill him on a month-to-month basis, and he finally did sell to SPI Seascape. However, he had quite a large bill on the old site. We had made an offer to him to go ahead and do a note and pay it over time, but he offered $1,500, which he has paid, and the balance that's due would be $2,283.16. And he has asked the board if they would waive those charges for him.
How long has Mr. Abrego been a tenant with the board?
He's been a long-time tenant.
Long
for
time?
us, a very long time. And he has been a good tenant.
Good tenant, it's been
Yes,
on
he
time
has.
and everything.
Yes, he has. I think, I did put in the backup there, I think there was some misunderstanding on his part of what we were intending for him to do, and we misunderstood on his part what he was intending to do.
Have a motion on the table, gentlemen?
I so move for the recommendation.
I'll second it.
We have a motion on the table by Commissioner De Los Santos, seconded by Commissioner Masso. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item number 14, consider and take action to authorize the salvage auction team to negotiate an agreement for the demolition and removal of the 9 silos at the ex-USA Meat and Grain lease site.
Okay. In the last meeting, I had requested that we get an extension on this bid on November 1st weekend, had no bids. I believe Mr. Cepeda was here?
He was here.
He left? Okay. He called me Monday and said he missed the bid. Nancy is also here. This is the site that she is leasing from us. with no bids on the table, we would, as the committee, we're stuck with trying to go out and find a demolition company to bring those down for us. I don't know if Nancy has anything that he'd like.
Ms. Gaetan?
Well, I was wanting to see if we could give us authority so that we could negotiate with the salvage team to either propose a bid for the demo of the silos, and we could do it there on our side, and give you a proposal. I did not come prepared at this moment to say what we could do, but I was expecting, there was a lot of interest for the silos for people that were wanting to take them as a reusable item, not as a demolition item. And that's why I really didn't put no interest in it, but, you know, I'm willing to go ahead and submit a bid for a demo part of it. That's what
I thought you were gonna put a bid in the first time.
I was, but the intention was that there was several people that wanted them as a reusable. So there's a big difference in price. If you're gonna reuse it, the amount of labor intense in it is way too big, whereas if I'm gonna scrap it for scrap, I can give you a proposal for scrapping it, but not as a reusable item. That was my,
Mr. Spetta's coming back in.
so that was what I was gonna propose to you.
There is Mr. Cepeda.
There he is, right here.
Okay.
Mr. Cepeda,
Mr. Cepeda?
we were talking about the silos. I don't know if you would like to address the board on what you might want to do.
How are you doing?
Yes, we specialize in taking out those tanks and taking them and setting them in Mexico. That's what we do. Mostly all of South Texas have been buying those tanks and selling them in Mexico. Now those tanks, it's a small plant really, because you're talking about the two bigger tanks that you think they're big. They're about 2,500 metric tons each, so it'll be about 5,000 metric tons. Now the smaller ones, you're talking about maybe another 5,000 tons. So you're talking about maybe about 10,000 a ton plant, okay? Basically in Mexico, the smallest is at 10,000, and it goes up to 15, 20, 25, up to 40, 60,000 metric tons. Those tanks, I can use them. As a matter of fact, we're taking down a plant over in Refugio, which was Refco, which is a 20,000 metric ton plant. And then we have one right now in Corpus also. So that's what I do. I'm interested in the tanks, taking them down, and using those tanks again. Now, it has to be the complete plan for me to be, you know, for it to be feasible for me. Or else, I mean, we can't really utilize just one small tank. And it's a specialized job. You got special jacks to bring them down and setting those things up. You set jacks all the way around, you pick it up off the ground, and it hangs in the air. While you take one ring off at a time, and then you take another one, and you set it down, jack it up again, and you bring it down, you know, one ring at a time. And it's very, very, very dangerous, okay? Now, those tanks are 60 footers. The biggest one we're taking down is 105 foot. And it's a huge 13,000 metric ton tank, one tank only. So you need special equipment for that. Now I can use it. You know, we can use it, but it's for use in Mexico.
If we extended the time, would you submit a bid? I mean, that's the problem we're having because we have no bids, so.
Well, it takes at least 3 months to do the job right. Now you hurry up, you're gonna have problems, accidents and all that kind of stuff. Still I have to get insurance, liability insurance, and it costs some money. Now what I do is I have another business in Mexico, and what I do is we contract Mexican workers to come and take down the tanks. If you get millwrights from the US, nobody's gonna tackle it. It's gonna be an outrageous amount of money to bring down that plant. A millwright will charge you at least $50,000 to bring it down. At least an American millwright. And we're talking about people that have to come up north because especially in the Corn Belt is where all the pros are. But we do that in Mexico, you see. But it takes about 3 months, Donna, to bring them down. You gotta use a crane, which cranes are very expensive. A lot of them settling in oxygen and stuff. I used to be part owner of that when it was Tipotex growers, many moons ago, because we used to farm quite a bit. used to farm 200 acres here. And we used to deliver our grain there. So I'm interested in the tanks, but if you want me to bring them down, I can bring them down. But, I mean, it's gonna cost me money to bring them down anyway. So I don't know what figures you have, or you want me to submit a bid and see how much I can do that. But we have to do it fast, because bad weather's gonna start setting around the 15th of December. I'm more or less figure 15th of December to 15th of January when we have bad weather most of the time. You know, some weeks are good, some weeks are bad, and it, you know, it's very cold. You cannot work in cold weather, especially in that kind of dangerous environment. You can't. But I would be interested in the whole plan. And it would be pretty quick. If the thing could be done, we could even start on Wednesday to bring it down.
Well, I think what we need is just a bid. I mean, we extended the bid to another week to allow you to bid, and we still didn't get any bids, but
How long would it take you to make a bid?
I can give it to you right now. I can give it to you right now. And then you ain't gonna get much from me, really, because it's gonna cost me an arm and a leg to bring it down. It costs a lot of money.
I think the thing is that we have to comply with do we have to advertise for the bids again, or, I mean,
Or just extend?
or just
extend it?
Can we extend it to till 4 o'clock tomorrow? And both of y'all just give us a
Because
bid?
I think it was extended 1 week already. I was here about
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, I'll make a motion to extend it till tomorrow, 4 o'clock, 4:15?
and then everybody just submit their
And whoever
bid.
wants to submit a bid, submit the bid, whether it's for removing them or salvage or whatever. Just submit the bids and we'll look at them at that time.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Second.
I'll bring it to you.
4:15.
Good.
Yes,
Okay?
thank you.
4:15, if we can make it 4:15.
4:15?
4:15, 1-5.
We have a motion on the table for item number 14 by Commissioner Mazo, seconded by Commissioner De Los Santos. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Item number 15, consider an act on the following leases. Number 1, Reyes Marine Industries, Inc., new lease.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. This is a new lease to replace B&D contract 3007, which will expire the end of October. It's to be effective November the 1st for 5 years with one renewal option of 5 years. It's for commercial shrimp vessels. The rental is $1,800 per year, and this new lease is ready for the board's consideration.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion on the table for item number 15, number 1 by Commissioner De Los Santos, seconded by Commissioner Mazo. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Item number 2, Gulmar Inc., new lease.
This new lease replaces an expired lease, B&D contract 2699. It's to be effective August 15, 2006, and it's for 5 years. The purpose of the lease is for dismantling ships, barges, vessels, scrap, metals, plants, railroad stock, railroad track, and any other material suitable for dismantlement, to load and unload barges of material owned or controlled by lessee, to receive, unload, process, store, and warehouse, package, and load recyclable materials, aggregates, ores, alloys, ferroalloys, steel products, or composite materials, to process scrap, related materials, to burn and dispose of waste, to TCEQ's requirements, to buy and sell salvage material, to buy, manufacture, and sell industrial associated tools, equipment, and supplies, to load and unload barges, and perform those activities associated with or commensurate with a private terminal operation, to conduct any other activities reasonably incidental to any of the foregoing purposes.
Excuse
Bless
me.
you.
Thank you. Thank you.
This is the rental is $51,124.80 a year, and this lease is ready for the board's consideration.
Ms. Rosenbaum?
Yes, sir.
Who's monitoring whether they're complying with the TCEQ requirements? Do we have anybody at the board that makes sure that they're in compliance?
Mr. Hector Lopez.
Yeah, Mr. Lopez monitors that.
Okay.
But
Our
so
engineer.
far, we've never done anything because you don't do anything like that without contacting all the governmental agencies first.
Okay.
Okay.
So
All the permits in place and everything.
okay, everything's in compliance then?
Definitely.
Okay.
This
But we
side,
do go around the leases
Yeah.
and check all the time, you know, with Hector and ourselves, but we're always, you know, checking when they're cutting to make sure, you know, they're.
I just want to make sure, I just saw a program on 60 Minutes on ship dismantling in Bangladesh and.
No, no.
Oh,
That's okay. I don't want none of that going on here. So moved. Seconded.
Okay, we have a motion on the table for item number 15, number 2, Gulmore Incorporated, by Commissioner De Los Santos, seconded by Commissioner Masso. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item number 16, consider and take action on assignments, negotiations, easements, subleases, and contracts in general. Number 1, Transmontane Product Services, Inc., TPSI consent.
Transmontane is requesting the board's consent to transfer rights and obligations under B&D contracts 3307, 2823, 3165, and 2752 as amended and/or sublease from Transmontane Product Services, Inc. to one of its affiliated companies, Transmontane Operating Company, LP, effective November the 30th, 2006. They have 167.638 acres in the port, and they have, these are their sites. Contract 3307 has 15 locations in the port. 2823 is one ex Rio Vista, and 3365 is ex Rio Vista here, and 2752 is ex Westway here. And this, they pay $479,307 per year of lease rentals. And I'm asking the board to consent to this request.
I'll make the motion. Second.
Ms. Rosemont, this will be transferred from Transmontane to Transmontane Operating Company, LP?
Yes, sir. It's just one of their affiliates.
Okay. We have a motion on the table by Commissioner De Los Santos, seconded by Commissioner Masso. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item number 2, Transmontane Product Services, Inc., TPSI consent, authority to negotiate.
Yes, this transfers a first refusal that they have, also to the affiliate company. It's situated right in this area. It's 1.76 acres and generates $633.50. And I'm asking the board's consent to that.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion on the table by Commissioner Dos Santos, seconded by Commissioner Cristiano. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Item number 3, Oscar Mares Martinez doing business as Taqueria Silos, authority to negotiate.
Mr. Martinez, current lease under B&D contract 3459 is on a yearly basis. Lease expires April 17, 2007, and then he has 4 additional renewal options of 1 year each. He has a food vending trailer. He's planning to make more improvements and is asking for a more permanent lease. Instead of yearly, he'd like a 5-year with 1 renewal option of 5 years. He's situated right in this area, and that rental is $325.80 a year. It's based on 0.181 of an acre tract. I'm asking the board's consent to Mr. Martinez's request.
So moved.
Second.
Okay. We have a motion on the table for item number 16 by Commissioner De Los Santos, seconded by Commissioner Cristiano. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item number 4, International Shipbreaking Limited, LLC, authority to negotiate.
International Shipbreaking is under contract 3449, is asking for additional land for their employee parking
which is situated across the street from their sites. They've employed an additional 100 people, and they need more parking. So I'm asking the authority to prepare an amendment to the lease and give them the additional acreage that they need.
So moved.
Second.
Motion on the table by Commissioner De Los Santos, seconded by Commissioner Cristiano. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item number 5, Firebird Bulk Carriers, Inc., authority to negotiate.
Firebird, under contract 3568, is requesting to change their method of payment from annually to monthly in advance. Their yearly rental is $35,928, and improvements of $13,228.12. That's for rail improvements. That's a total of $49,156.12. Monthly rate would be $29.94 for the rent and $1,102.34 for the improvements. That would be a total of $7,090.34 per month. I'm asking the board to give me authority to prepare an amendment to make this change.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion on the table by Commissioner De Los Santos, seconded by Commissioner Cristiano. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item number 6, George Carlos Gavito, authority to negotiate.
Mr. Gavito is requesting to lease a tract of land off of Highway 4, that's our second corridor, to the Rio Grande River of approximately 100 acres. You can see it here. This would be, that's Highway 4, and this is our second corridor. That would be used for grazing. I'm asking the board to give me authority to negotiate
So moved.
grazing lease.
Second.
Okay. Motion on the table by Commissioner De Los Santos, seconded by Commissioner Cristiano. All those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries.
Item number 7, National Seafoods, Inc., consent.
National Seafoods is under contract 3556, is requesting the board's consent to encumbrance in favor of IBC Bank for a loan in the amount of $100,000 for the purchase of the leasehold improvements. Their rent is $9,600 per year. I'm asking the board's consent to this.
So
Second.
Motion on the table by Commissioner De Los Santos, seconded by Commissioner Cristiano. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item number 17, adjourn into executive session.
It's now 6:30, adjourning the executive session.